Hello guys, welcome to today's video. So today's video is gonna be a Q&A with Joe. We're just trying to get set up like over here in like his little office area, and we're gonna try this out today for our Q&A. It's a little bit more like chill. We're gonna be on the floor here with the moon pod and all of that. But we're gonna answer some of your questions. It's been such a long time since we do that, and I feel like it's just like a good day to chat and all of that. Joseph Buell,
I've arrived.
You have arrived. Are the wine glasses here?
They're behind me.
Oh, they're behind me. Just kidding. So we're gonna be pouring some wine. I do want to thank Wink for sponsoring today's video and for giving us another excuse to like sit down and chat with you guys and talk about life. So we're gonna open up. Shut up. So we're gonna open up the box and see what wines are in here and all of that. Yeah, Joe's finishing getting situated. I feel like he hasn't been in my vlogs lately. I feel like even some of you guys have noticed like Joe's kind of been like kind of distant lately, and I wanted you guys to know that he is still here. He is still very much you know, a part of the family here. Like it's been chaotic. It's like the last couple months have just been a little bit crazy. After the holidays, I feel like we haven't stopped. So yeah, we're gonna chit chat with you guys, and while we get set up, I guess I'm gonna talk to you really quick about Wink. So we've worked with Wink now like a lot of times. Like, you guys have seen a lot of these chit chat videos with us, sponsored by Wink. And if you've never heard of them before, basically they're a wine membership service company, whatever you want to call them, and it's really cool. So it's a great way to discover a bunch of different wines. Every month they give you like credits that you can use, and then you put those credits towards getting some bottles, and then you get a box delivered like this to your door. So it's super convenient. And you guys ask me all the time, like, well, how do you guys like spice it up? What do you guys do for date night? And like literally this is it right here. I tell you guys all the time that we love to have like wine and cheese once the kids are in bed, like once the kids are done and we get our time like together. Like we often do that, and that's kind of all we do in terms of date night, just like movies at home, watching shows, and to have like some nice wines to pair that with is really nice. So I'm not even sure which ones we got. I literally told them like, send me your best red wines, because Joe and I are red wine drinkers. So we have this one that's called Lost Poet. Didn't we get this one time? I feel like that one sounds familiar. Lost Poet. This one that is called Matchlock Cabernet Sauvignon. I bet that's really good. This one's called Endgame. It's a Pinot Noir. And then we've got this one that's called Folly of the Beast Pinot Noir. And I feel like the labels are always like so fun. Like all of the packaging on these wines are super fun. One of the reasons why Wink is so good and it's like such a cool service is because they work with like very specific like winemakers. This isn't like the kind of stuff that you're gonna find like all the time at your local like grocery store or wherever it is that you get wines. So it's a really fun way to discover new wines, and like that's like a fun thing that you can do with your spouse or with your girlfriends. Plus, like if you're like somebody unlike us who like has people over all the time, it's always nice to have like something, you know, cool to take out for everybody to drink if you guys are wine drinkers. So we've really liked this service. We are gonna keep drinking them and like tasting them for you guys, but I do want to let you know before we start getting into the questions that I do have an offer to share with you guys. I'm gonna leave it down below here on the screen. I believe the offer right now is that you get 4 wines for like under 30 bucks plus free shipping, which is like a fantastic deal. So if you guys want to take advantage of that, again, I'll have all the info down below in the description box. It's super easy too. Like they really try really hard to like get you wines that you like, which by the way, they also like they'll return, like you can return and they'll replace like any bottle that you absolutely hate. Like if you don't really like it, they'll replace it for you with one that you might like. So that's kind of cool. But what they do is there's like a really easy like 6-question quiz or something that you can take that asks you stuff about your flavor profiles, what you like to eat and all of that. And then they give you recommendations. So if you're like, I like wine, but I don't know what kind I like, or I just want to try new things, that's something that you might really like. So that is it. Joseph, you'll get over here so you can open these, please. And we can have our little...
You get through 4 bottles of wine. You gotta go.
We're not gonna have 4 bottles of wine. Thank you. This is my heated blanket, so we're gonna get cozy and comfy over here. Are you even gonna show up in the frame? I don't know. No, we're gonna have to be at the same distance, because like we've filmed other Q&As before where like I'm all up here and then you're back here, and then the audio is like I have to like sound you up, like I have to increase the volume a ton for you. Where do you want me to have the camera? Here? This is good?
You tell me.
Is that too close? Let's do Folly of the Beast. Let's do this Pinot Noir. We'll try that one out. It was a pretty good day for us today. We went to IKEA, so let's just like start off with that. We went to IKEA for the first time. Joe had never been there to IKEA. It was his first time.
It's your first time.
No, I've been to IKEA before, just not this one. I've been to IKEA maybe like 1 or 2 times before. I think the one in Miami. I think that's where we went. But they had a bunch of stuff. It was kind of cool to like look around and like kind of get a feel for like where our tastes are in terms of like house decor and get ideas. Like, what was your favorite thing that you saw today, Buell?
Standing desk.
Standing desk. He really wants to like revamp like his office space. Like that's kind of like a big thing that he wants to do. So I told you guys, I told you when we did like my goals video. Thank you. That's good. When we did my goals video, I shared that like we're kind of in like this weird waiting spot where we're like waiting to find out if we are going to be going back to Miami sooner rather than later or not. So if that doesn't work out, where we are not going back to Miami for the time being, then we may do some stuff here to the house and redo his office and redo the dining room that's over there and make that like a homeschool space. What other plans do you have for your space?
This is the homeschool space.
Yeah. He wants to switch it. He wants to like make this a homeschool space and then put his office there with our office with a standing desk apparently. So anyway, let's just go ahead and get into some questions. I can't be the only one who talks here, okay?
You're gonna be the only one.
No, you have to talk. You have to say
things. There are questions for me, then I'll answer those questions, but...
Okay, so Joseph, do you guys have different parenting styles? Just quickly. Do you think we have different parenting styles? If yes, how so?
I don't think we do.
You don't think we have different parenting styles? Like, I'm a lot more like lenient, or I'm okay with like messy play, and Joseph is not. I mean, I could answer that question, but I would like to get your take on it.
I just say that I don't think we are, just because if I have an issue with something that's going on, you're on board with it. Like,
there hasn't ever been a time, like, if Riley's acting up or something, like, we usually agree on how to handle it, like, how to, like, the solution. Like, we're gonna have to do some time out, we're gonna have to, you know, like, the solving of issues in parenting, or, like, how we want to handle tantrums, things like that, we're usually on board with that, I would say. But I think just in everyday parenting, we do have differences, and that's where we bump heads a lot. The fact that I can deal with a lot of mess and like I can clean up at the end of the day, that is okay with me, that is not okay with him. He would very much prefer that like the kids play with one thing at a time and then they clean it up before moving on to another.
It's important for them to learn. You gotta clean up after yourself before you can move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I just like, in theory, that, you know, that makes sense to me, but I feel like in the application of it, when you're dealing with two kids, it's hard. Like, they play with different things, they run around, they go from thing to thing, they're not just playing with like one thing at a time. Jackson takes out 500 cars, so it's like, you know, it's harder to, like, it's easier to say that than it is like to actually put that into play. Otherwise, like, I could do that, but I would literally have to be staring at my children all day long, and like I have other things that I'm trying to, you know, juggle and balance at the same time. So there is that.
You go out for the day, leave me with the kids, and come home and see the difference when you come home compared to when I come home.
Well, I know, like the times that he takes care of them, you know, he's watching them and all of that, yeah, like the house is a lot cleaner, but you usually just like do nothing else other than like clean up behind them.
Things.
But mostly clean up behind them. We just both have very different like personalities in that sense.
Listen, when it's a little mess and they move on, then it's a little mess to clean up.
I know. You don't have to explain it to me. In like the theory behind it, I know makes sense. It's
the logic.
The actual, yeah, the logic makes sense. It's just like the actual putting it into practice is a lot harder.
Is a freaking atom bomb that went off in the
We could literally just have a video talking about like messes and cleaning up and like the different ways that we handle that, because a lot of you guys asked like questions like, you know, what's the biggest thing that you guys like fight about? That's like one of the things that we fight the most about. Like, as dumb as it is, it's like the mess in the house, or things being untidy, or the fact that, again, I don't go to sleep with a mess. Like, I won't go to sleep with dishes in the sink. I've said this before, like, I won't go to sleep with dishes in the sink. Like, I need to have things clean. But I can do it once the kids are asleep in bed, and then it's like my time to clean up when the kids are in bed and there's like peace. Like, he doesn't want to do that. He cannot relax until that is done. So like, he always wants it cleaned up before they go to bed.
When they go to bed, I want to be done.
I know. So we like differ in that sense, and that sometimes causes some, you know, frustration. So that is that question. Do I want to move this?
Sure.
I feel like I'm talking over here. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna keep moving this camera like 5,000 times. What are you doing?
I'm just like,
I'm just trying to get comfortable.
Like cut off, man.
Okay.
Do you see this?
What about it?
I'm.
You don't look. Just get like.
I'm not. It's not comfortable.
Well, like, cause like we're on different levels
if
here.
I'm down, I'm gonna be further away from the camera. And I talk. I need a lavalier.
You really do. Like the guy needs like a microphone. Legit needs like a microphone because every time that I edit a video with you, either I have to put subtitles.
No, you have to pull my video. You have to pull my audio up.
I have to put up his audio, or I have to put subtitles. But that's just how he is. So I got the question: any news on Joe's potential job in Miami? We haven't heard back, so we're still waiting. Yes.
No, they're interviewing for it. I don't have to interview for it because it's the same position.
Like basically, like if we were to move to Miami, like if he were to get that job, it's not a promotion, it's not a demotion, it's just like a lateral move.
Yeah.
But usually like they don't like people to like lateral
they
move.
want me to be in my position here for 3 years before considering a move.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes, but we haven't heard, but hopefully soon, hopefully again within the next month or two, we should hear something, right? If not, I'm gonna start like
Hear something.
bugging you and making you ask questions to people. All right, so this question I thought was funny because I've never gotten asked a question like this. So would you be okay for Joe to go to a bachelor party with topless waitresses?
That was a question to you.
Well, I know. I just wanted to see how you were gonna react to that question. So
I wouldn't be there.
So exactly, good job. So the answer to that question is no, I would not be okay with it. I'm gonna keep this as short as I can. No, I wouldn't be okay with it. I feel like it's very disrespectful. The idea of bachelorette parties, I just think is like just kind of stupid. Like I didn't have a bachelorette party, he didn't have a bachelor party. Since we've been married, I think the only bachelor party that you went to was your cousin's, and that was like
It's a family.
You went like camping.
Yeah, it was family.
Like it was like a family thing.
Me, his brothers.
Yeah, and you
Tyler.
guys went camping.
Yeah.
And like
and his dad. And we just went.
Yeah, even his dad went.
We went in the cabin. We went whitewater rafting on the Ocoee.
And that was cool. Like
yeah.
I was okay with that. Like that's very different than like typical bachelor parties.
The cabin in Georgia.
Yeah, where like the goal is like to go out, go to clubs, get drunk, you know, see strippers. Nope. I feel it's disrespectful.
Campfires, and they had arcade games there. And
yeah.
drinks.
So like for a bachelorette party, like I could see like if you wanted to go to a bachelorette party where, you know, it was like the spa or like, you know, something like that, brunch, the spa. But the minute that like it's about like getting drunk, putting yourself in situations where there could be like bad things that happen, like I don't think it's worth it. And to me, it's kind of like the idea that you're having like your last hurrah, like, you know, you're getting married, so this is the last time, like your old life is being left behind. It's like, why should you be thinking that your old life is being left behind, like instead of focusing on like, wow, my life is just starting with this amazing person, you know, that I'm gonna be with. So I just think it's dumb. No me gusta that. Did your emotions or your tiredness affect your marriage after having kids? I'll let you talk on that.
Yeah, it affects the dynamic pretty, I think it's the one huge dynamic that we're working on right now.
The fact that we're both like tired from life.
It's just it's the reality of how life is now. Parenthood is a constant struggle of emotions, and it's just trying to get through that dynamic as best as possible. And you know, when she has a bad day and the kids have been just over the top, which happens.
It happens a lot.
I kind of take the brunt of it because I'm so annoying to her.
Well, like I definitely have days where I'm stressed, I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed. So then I definitely sometimes like, and that's something that we're working on, right? Yeah. Like we acknowledge it, we're working on it, we're not perfect.
Conflict resolution.
But yeah, but I'll take it out on him, or he'll say something and I'll misinterpret it and I snap, or you know, like my emotions get the best of me. So we're trying to work on, you know, being better about that. I'm trying to like,
it's not like significant, it's just it's not like affecting the marriage. It's just a dynamic we're trying to figure out.
Yeah. What we're trying to say is like, we're not always like 100% just like happy. It's not like we never fight.
Yeah. So
if you're going through it, like being new parents, especially new parents, emotions are heightened. It's hard. You're figuring it out. It's a whole new dynamic, adding little people into your life, and that's okay. But like, you figure it out together, you know. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. But
no, I now know. I see. I tell her I see how this plays out. So
what do you mean?
Well, when I know that I just need to be quiet.
Oh yeah, like those days, like those moments where he, you know, he sees that I'm just like, you know, at my wit's end, that like I'm about to throw in the towel. Like sometimes he'll like come into the kitchen, like if I'm in the kitchen, like the other day you came in the kitchen and you're like, I think I'm gonna leave. And you're like, oh, okay, no, I know how this is gonna...
I see how this plays out.
I see the end of this movie.
I've seen this movie before.
So he's like, goodbye.
I read this book. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
That's so funny. Somebody asked, does Joe ever expect you to go back to work one day if your YouTube falls out one day? So if no? You would never expect me?
Never crossed my mind.
No. What if like I really wanted to?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I support whatever you want, but
which I don't. Like, please, yeah, like I don't. I definitely don't want to go back to a corporate job or anything like that. But it's nice to know that, you know,
survive off of my job as long as I keep my job. If I lose my job,
then we both
back to work.
We're gonna go, like, I don't know, do something, both of us. We're gonna be hustling because obviously we know that we have to, you know, provide for our kids and our family. I did get questions though about like when we decided that I was going to become a stay-at-home mom, or like how we came to that conclusion. And it was like when I was at the marketing job that I got pregnant with Riley. I remember that I was making, like, my salary at that job was like 45 grand, and that's what I was making as a social media manager there. And then he had his, you know, same job, but you were like a few pay steps lower, right, back then? So it was like 4 years ago.
So 12.
Yeah, so we just remember, like, I remember telling him, like, okay, I'm pregnant, we're gonna have this baby, you know, God willing, and I don't want to go back to a 9 to 6 job. Like, back then my hours were like 9 to 6, and I had an hour commute each way. So I was like, when would I see my baby? I don't want to do that. And so we really sat down and we crunched numbers, and we were like, you don't remember crunching numbers? Probably because I was the one crunching the numbers, because I'm the one with the budget and stuff.
Hey, I'm staying at home.
Well,
I'm not gonna go back to work.
Because I knew that we could, based off of the crunching of the numbers, that we could make it work. And I figured, like, I could take some time off, and then eventually, like, I figured out, like, if I could make just even, like, I don't know, like half of what I was making at that other job, like, we'd be perfectly fine. And so I knew at the time, like, that with my, like, blog income, my YouTube income, it was pretty realistic that I could make that happen. If I didn't have YouTube, if I didn't have anything else income-wise, like, I think we would have tried to find a way to, like, downsize stuff and not spend as much money, and really tried to make sacrifices.
Our budget would be completely...
Yeah, you'd have no money to spend.
That's fine.
You would have no money to buy a train like that you did. And like all like the fun stuff that, you know, we feel very blessed that we can, you know, buy these days. But if we didn't have that extra like cushion, if we didn't have that extra like spending money, like we'd still survive and we'd still be very happy, you know, with just being here and having food and wine and cheese. Like that's what we like to do anyway. Like, I'm not very comfortable here.
Just sit on
the moon pod. I don't need to sit on the moon pod.
Well, your butt's gonna go numb.
My butt is gonna go numb, probably. So speaking of that, and speaking of spending, somebody asked how you felt now that No Buy January is over.
Okay.
Were you like waiting desperately for No Buy January?
Come on, it was the first one to make a purchase.
He keeps reminding me that I was the first one to make a purchase in February. That I was the one there at Target February 1st trying to spend money. But you did ask me a couple times in January, can we spend money yet?
I was a joke.
He was like, can we spend some money yet already?
It was a joke.
But he actually did very good. I'm very proud of him. We'll do that again someday, right? Sure. Another month in the year, we'll do a no spend. Okay, so somebody asked, Beth and Rip or Casey and Monica? I'm glad that some of you guys watch Yellowstone, by the way, because that's been our nighttime show.
What I prefer?
Yeah, I guess. Like, there was no context to that. I was just Beth and Rip or Casey and Monica.
Beth and Rip. I'm over Monica, man. She's...
He said that Monica's always depressed.
She's always just something.
She's just always sad.
Damn.
He mentioned it last night. He's like, I'm just over this chick.
I'm over her. What is it now?
Like, listen, we watch Yellowstone, but I mean, the entire family is dysfunctional.
Oh my God.
Mean, like, it's like
it's hard for me to admit that. Like, Beth is just...
Yeah, like none of the characters are in a good spot. Like, it's just crazy. But we definitely prefer the Beth and Rip dynamic. Like, I hope that Rip can, I don't know, just make her a little bit happy, because damn, like, she's always pissed off about everything else.
You just gotta take Jamie out of the equation.
Yeah, I guess. So what season are we on? Are we on 3?
3.
Yeah, we're on season 3, but we like it. You know, like, the scenery there is beautiful. Like, to think that, like, some people really live like that, like, out in the country and have, like, just land. What?
Montana.
It's just beautiful, but it's like a totally different way of life. So somebody actually asked, is Joe gonna do RCIA? So if you don't know what RCIA is, it's like the kind of like, it's like a program that you do when you're trying to like become Catholic, when you're trying to like get into the Catholic faith as an adult. So he reached out to the church that we go to now. They said like there was a cutoff, right? Like, you missed the cutoff for this year?
No, last year.
For last year.
The end of last year.
Yeah. So he's looking forward to when the new session, I guess, starts up this year.
Yeah.
To doing it. You know, I did all of my stuff when I was like going through school. Like, I did my first communion and all of that when I was going through school, but he didn't. So now I'm really happy and excited that he's gonna, you know, pursue that path. And do you want to talk about your men's group or no? Say anything about it?
It's not a men's group. I mean, it's just, it's a That Man Is You, TMIY. It's just a focus on men being better leaders of faith.
Yeah, he just started going to, at our church, they have like a men's group that meets.
It's for this area as well.
Yeah,
Church.
They meet once a week, and it's a bunch of guys, different ages, and they discuss faith and being a man. And I think it's really cool, like, that there's so many guys there, like, that they don't think it's weird, they don't think it's corny or cheesy, and like they're just trying to be better dads and fathers.
My small group likes me because I'm the new guy on the block.
What did you go in and say, like, hey, I don't know any of this stuff, like, I'm new here?
Well, you just, as you are talking to people, that just naturally is some kind of, that kind of comes
yeah, like,
around
hi, my wife is Catholic, and
like, hey, do you go to this church? Yeah. And then,
but we just started.
Yeah, I mean, we just, you know, been here for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when like I said, with me being so new to this and making it known in the group, then a lot of the group kind of just gravitates to that, hey, we can talk. Let's talk about all this stuff. So it's good.
I'm excited about it because, like, obviously, like, here at home, like, we do the Bible in the Year that I've shared with you guys, the podcast, the YouTube channel with Father Mike Schmitz, but it's like, you know, he really only has me to talk about faith stuff, like, here at home. Mm-hmm. So it's nice that he gets, like, a guy's perspective on that.
We gotta surround ourselves with like-minded.
I agree. Like, having a community folks is key, and we haven't really had that. And it's kind of hard being here where we're at because, like, you know, we don't have somewhere where we can just leave the kids and go and meet with a bunch of other couples and stuff. So hopefully, if we do make it down to Miami, we'll be able to find something similar down there. So this question is, when you guys are intimate, is it random or is it scheduled?
It's random.
It's random.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever, like, had it be like a scheduled thing.
Oh, when we were trying to get pregnant.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Other than sorry, I have like my heated blanket on me, you guys, and like now I'm like suffocating. But the only time that we had it scheduled was when we were like actively trying to get pregnant with both of the kids, and we were like, you know, looking at my fertile days and all of that. Because yes, I was like hunting you down and telling you like, hey, we're gonna be doing it today. But since then, it's random. Mm-hmm. Totally random. Like, I don't think you would do well if you were like, hey, it's like a scheduled date to do this. Nope. He's not into that. So I wouldn't care either way, but he's not about it. So how does Joe feel about homeschooling?
100% supporting it. You know, I was a public school kid, and I don't think it was bad, but just everything that we're kind of hearing now and that's, coming out in the media and the past few years, it's no way I would put my kids through that. That just even came up today in the men's group.
What, really? You guys were talking about it in the men's group?
Yeah.
Like, again, we know that there's some people that don't have any other option. And, like, I said that to you before. Like, sometimes, like, that's the only option.
But I think, too, public school where I grew up is different than public school where you grew up.
And I went to public school, too, by the way. Like, I went to public school until 6th grade. And then I went to private school starting in 7th grade.
Yeah.
And I went to private Catholic high school. I had a great public school experience.
I would be opposed to public school if the area that we lived in was, but we would just have to, I would just have to be really involved.
Yeah.
Into what they're being taught. Like, it'd be daily interrogations of the kids when they got home.
What did you learn today?
What did you talk about today? What did you learn? Show me everything in your backpack. Let's look through your work.
I think that's good. Like, it makes my heart happy to think that, you would want to be, like, that involved in their school.
Of course.
But about me homeschooling the kids.
If you think you can do it, let's do it.
Like, do you have, like, you have fears that, like, it would take up too much time? Or do you just support whatever it is that I want to do with them? Like,
I mean, you're home here with the kids. If you feel that you can do it, then by all means.
Yeah.
What do I need to do to help?
I appreciate that support, and it's something that we've talked about, and we've kind of gone back and forth about. Like, I do get some questions like, why wouldn't you do like a private school, or like, put them in a private school, then that would give you more time, to get a break for yourself, and it would give you that break during the day, which on the one hand, like, yeah, that sounds
I'm like not
fantastic.
even thinking about that, but every time I think about that one little part, I'm like, well, maybe, I don't know.
What, that would sound nice to have a little bit of a break? I mean, it does sound nice to be able to have a little bit of a break, but I have just felt way too called to homeschool lately that if I have the ability to do it, it's something that I want to try. And like I've always told you guys, I don't know how long I'm going to do it for. Maybe I try it out and I end up hating it, and it's just not something that's going to work. Then we'll explore other options. But especially while they're little, like, I love being around them and I love having them, and they drive me insane, but I like that time with them,
The critical piece is that, I've heard, and I'm sure you've seen and researched that, the community aspect of homeschooling is, the one stigma, I guess, that homeschooling has is that your kids just become kind of socially disconnected and awkward. And that's, that's one benefit of having that public school environment is you're just, you're kind of learning life and, adversity and, just kind of getting through that, but you just kind of, you're in your safe zone here in your home environment. Yeah, but I'm going to try to make an effort to, if we go down that route, finding other mom groups, finding other co-ops and things. Like, I just printed out a calendar for like our area that has like moms meetups and stuff, and I printed it out and I put it on my fridge. And I'm going to try to take the kids, even if it's just like once every other week, to some kind of play group, play date. I think that would be good to kind of get me out of my comfort zone and doing that and getting the kids to interact with other kids. So it's something that will definitely, like, I'll have to put in that work to get them to socialize around other kids. But they ain't got no time. They ain't got no issue socializing.
The kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just going to like run wild. But it'll be good for them. I'm excited for that kind of stuff. Somebody said, I want a Joe in the life video so bad. A Joe vlog, or Joe sits down and talk. So you gotta pick up the camera more. Like, hey, y'all might get what you asked for. Joe is, There's some ideas. He has some ideas to, like, But I do have a full-time job, so it's hard. And that obviously takes priority. Like, that gives us our health insurance. It gives us, like, all of our, helps us pay, like, all the bills. So it's not like, that would ever be something that he wants to get rid of, or that I would want him to get rid of. I got something brewing. Yeah. So he definitely wants to, like, show more of himself. Not like in a I'm gonna be naked kind of way, but, talk more and, be a little bit more. Kind of a calling, I guess. I just feel I want to help. If my limited knowledge in some things can help others be better, then, yeah. Why would I want to keep that to myself? Yeah, so if there's anything in particular that you want to hear Joe talk about, any subject matters. It has to be centric to something that, I have a propensity to be good at, or not good, but just, something in my domain, in my wheelhouse. Yeah. just let us know in the comments, and you know, he could take a look at that for sure. So does Joe like working from home better, or does he like working at the office?
Nope. I'm sorry, I can't.
It's hard.
It's really hard for me to really, you know, I manage 5 programs for our agency, and it's just me managing it. So it's not like, you know, it's a division of the effort. So it's me running 5 programs with the chaos of, you know, being at home, like literally.
The screaming children. The bathroom is like right there next to his desk. So like, how many times has Riley been using the bathroom?
Yeah.
Like she'll
announce, I gotta go caca. I'm like,
okay, everybody just heard you.
but it just never fit. I mean, I think last week you had a doctor's appointment, and it coincided with a meeting that I was actually the leading person on the meeting, and it was with a bunch of people that I've never met. So I'm a little bit more lax when, you know, it's a group of people that I, you know and have worked with, and I can kind of set the preface the, hey, I'm here at home with the kids, you're gonna hear them, they're crazy, they're loud. But this one, I didn't know anybody, so.
They just heard screaming children in the background?
Oh, Jackson was in full meltdown.
Like it sounded like children are being like murdered in the background.
I'm literally having to tell people, like, excuse me for a second, mute.
He was putting them on mute like every 30 seconds.
I was embarrassed, it was embarrassing.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like that doesn't happen every day. Like that was the day that I had, you know, I had an appointment. I think that people would understand, but it's stressful. It's stressful, like to the point where even when I'm home, like the other day I was home with the kids, and
you stress out because you know that it's affecting me. And
yeah, because
the dynamic.
Yeah, because I know that they're screaming, so I'm like trying to wrangle them. Like normally if they were fighting or something, I just let them figure it out. But I have to be, you know, keeping them quiet, and it just puts more pressure that he's home. So like the other day he had a big meeting, he told me, and I was like, okay, forget it. I'm gonna take them to Walmart. I'm gonna take them to go get groceries so that we're out of the house for that meeting. So it's definitely hard, but I mean, absolutely, it has still been like a big help some days. Like there have been days where, you know, he will help with, you know, prepping the kids lunch if you're free, or you know,
it's a slow day if there's nothing going on, but these last like 3 weeks have been just nonstop. Like haven't even had time to eat lunch. It's just one after the other, and the phone calls. So yeah, he's more of a, I'd rather be going into the office. Do you miss like the socially, like the social aspect of work? I was gonna say, that's the other piece is I get a lot from bouncing ideas and just having conversations with others and just kind of bouncing ideas off of them and getting their feedback. You know, that's another dynamic of, you know, going in work like normal that I miss. What is something that Joe thinks you guys could do better as a couple? Conflict resolution. And like when we get in arguments and how we deal with conflict. That's our biggest, that is the one thing that I figure if we can figure that out, that we'll be on the path to. Like what would you, like you say conflict resolution, like I obviously know what you mean because like I'm the one that you're in conflict with. I think it's just our personalities, just the maybe it's the similarity in our personalities. We're very similar. Even though we're very different about certain things, we're also very similar in like, you know, we don't like being criticized. We don't like being told by the other person like, hey, you're doing something wrong. Or like even just something that like I'm trying to tell him something, not to like be like, oh, you're doing it wrong. Maybe to like help him. But he takes it as, you know, I am telling him he's doing something wrong. Same with me, like same exact thing with me. Like the other day we literally had a fight because I was making the cake pops and I was melting the chocolate, and the melted chocolate was like not working, and I was like, what did I do wrong? Why is this chocolate like not working? And he's like, well, did you microwave it? And I took it as like, trying to, duh, like I read the instructions. What are you trying to say? Like I didn't read the instructions. Have a discussion to make her think about all the steps, and maybe it would. He was trying to problem solve for me, and I took it like, wow, you think I'm an idiot? And I was just like, all right. Yeah, he's like, okay, goodbye. So, you know, we're very similar in certain senses, and like those are things that we're working on. And I think it's healthy to have conversations about like what you need to work on. And I can, if I realize that what her and I are having a heated debate or discussion or argument about, if it's not going anywhere, it's just constantly just going back in circles. I'm just like, we're done. Yeah, he's the I can go to bed angry type. We'll talk about it later, and I'm not. I'm like, she has to go to bed. Can you love me again? Can you talk to me? Can we work it out? And I can't just snap my finger and be okay.
Yeah, and I am. Like, we can have arguments, we can have discussions, we can have heated discussions, and I can get to a point where I'm like, okay, it's fine. Let's go watch TV, we're fine. Like, I can get over it super quickly. I don't hold a grudge.
I don't hold a grudge, I just have to...
You need time to process it. And I'm just like, okay, can we just go back to being fine and happy and normal? Like, I get it, let's move on. Like, I can move on super quick. He cannot, so that's very frustrating to me.
I'd like to kind of just disengage, just to allow myself to just calm down and just kind of evaluate and think.
So I'm curious, like, how many of you guys, like, which camp do you guys fall into? Do you fall into the, like, go to bed angry, or you need to work it out? Like,
I can table it.
He can table it, and like, I told you the other day, like, I could table stuff, I just need to know that you're, like, happy with me.
That is a majority of her and I, and that is the big crux of our conflict resolution, is that we can never resolve conflict between her and I.
And conflict mostly, it's not even like huge stuff. It's like stupid stuff.
And these triggering things are cyclic, so it literally,
it's probably when I'm getting my period.
Yeah,
it's probably that. It's probably my time of month when I'm like a crazy.
I can almost plan it on my clock. I think it's about every month or so. We'll be
and something happens
flying
every
high,
month.
and then something will be in the ditch.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day,
having the exact same conversation, repeating the exact same things we talked about a month ago, and I'm just like, this is like a broken record, and we're just going around in circles again. So it's just. That is the one hot topic. Yeah, but I mean, we've got to figure it out, because like we're stuck with each other forever, so we're not going anywhere. Well, I just feel bad because, you know, sometimes it happens and it's in front of the kids, and I just like, I can't do this.
That's a big one. Where like, yes, it's hard because we're always around each other. Like, we're around each other a lot.
And Riley bless her heart, she's just like trying to.
Riley's,
it's okay.
Riley's
Mama,
like,
okay.
Mama.
It's okay, Mama.
Be nice to Dada.
Be nice to Dada.
Dada, be nice to Mama. Yeah. So that's stuff we don't want to do. And like, especially now that the kids like know and they're older and they understand, like, we have to not do that around them. But it's easier said than done when you're just like over it and you're stressed. So working on all those things, but we will resolve them.
They see that whether we quote unquote resolve it, I mean, it doesn't persist. So we're back to kind of the normalcy.
Yeah, we still love each other. And like I said it in another question, like Q&A sessions before, like, I think it is important, like, not to get nasty in front of your kids. Like, I'm never gonna, you know, be okay with that. You shouldn't be getting nasty in general, but to show your kids that you can have arguments and disagreements and then resolve it and you still love each other, like, that's healthy and that's okay. At least that's how, you know, we feel about that. What?
Trying to read some of these questions.
Well, because some of these questions are like the same. Like, how does Joe not go crazy with the mess? Having a messy house gives him anxiety. Like, we all know that at this point, that it gives you anxiety.
Listen, it's just I think the stress, not stress, but this is just never ending. It's nonstop. Like, I'm constantly. Because
we live in a house with two kids. And we clean and we tidy. And they come right behind us, leaving another mess. Like, it's never ending. It's really, really hard. And again, we don't get that break in the day where it's like, oh, you were at daycare, or oh, you were at school, and the house was, you know, immaculate for 4 hours. Like,
should hire a nanny.
We should. I mean, at some point we may, and be like, hey, I need a nanny.
Somebody just to be here to play with the kids, so we can just kind
of clean the house.
Well, just
tidy up.
Not tidy up. Just
go to sleep. Like, what would you do if we had a nanny?
Keep the kids content.
So that we can.
So that I'm good. So that you can
what? Get some work done.
Just have some time, because I know you don't get time.
But this year I'm working on it. I really have. Like I told you guys that my word of the year is rest, and I've been making a real effort to rest more and to watch more shows and to say no to certain things. Like today, I was gonna film at IKEA. Like that thought crossed my mind. I was like, that would make for a great video. Some people have been asking me to, you know, take them to IKEA with us. And the thought crossed my mind. I was like, people make videos about IKEA.
I want to build all our furniture.
Well, then go buy wood. I mean,
I need to know what you want.
Okay, well, you can build me stuff. But point is, like, I thought about it and I was like, no, today's Saturday, and you know what? I don't really want to pick up the camera. I want to just spend the outing with the family. And, you know, I'm trying to make more decisions like that to, like, force me to rest. So I'm working on it, okay? Okay, so how does Joe feel about bread baking? About my bread baking?
No.
How do you feel about my bread baking?
Phyllis and Jeff were super freaking messy, and that just...
He was having a fit about how messy.
Do you all remember the avocado knife? This was worse.
Yeah, he's been having a fit about the fact that there's like flour and stuff
like she'll
on the counter.
Do whatever she does, and then it's in a sink, and then I'm literally having to sit there and scrape it off with my nails because she never does it.
Never. Don't say that. That is false.
Doesn't take
sometimes
the extra 3 seconds just to rinse it off.
But out of all the times that I do it,
I don't care if you rinsed it and left it. I'd be okay with that.
But I do rinse it often, but sometimes, a few times, I don't. And then of course it's the times that he freaking finds it and then he has a fit. Like, he's actually mentioned to me a couple times that he wished that I would just put them out of their misery. When they weren't rising, he's like, can you just put them out of their misery? Can you just, like, you know, send them to heaven? Like, just let them go. So, no, they are here to stay, Phyllis and Jeff. Do not be rude to them.
And I don't like sourdough bread, so...
He doesn't like sourdough.
Like, there's no part of this that I get any benefit out of.
But did you like my honey whole wheat bread?
Those are great.
I'm gonna make more of that. I told you, I'm an artisan baker now.
Phyllis and Jeff are sourdough. I'm like, I don't even like that.
Well, I'm very excited about Phyllis and Jeff. So, I'm hoping that I can further impress him. Look, I made the coffee cake the other day for you.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was really good. So I feel like, you know, I'm trying to make some things.
Nice luck.
Did you even like the other one? Did you try the other one?
Of course.
Which one was, you tried the Endgame? Was that one good?
Yeah.
Which one did you like better? Folly of the Beast or Endgame?
Endgame.
Endgame? Oh, I'm gonna try that one next then. I'm still like babysitting now when you're on your third glass. But yeah, that's kind of like his thing. Like, I don't think you mind that I do it, right? It's just the fact that it's messy.
If it was if I had no part in it, if I didn't have to clean up after it, I'd be alright with it.
Okay.
But it's just so freaking messy.
It is.
Like splatters of Jeff and Phyllis all over the kitchen counter.
Just pieces of Jeff and Phyllis
like,
everywhere.
What is this?
It's something that even I, though, like, as much as I have been enjoying the process, and me that doesn't really care about the mess, like, I've never liked to bake or do anything in the kitchen because it is messy to do that.
And we're not just going to use a stirring stick that's wooden. We're just going to use whatever wooden utensils are in our thing, and we're just going to turn it up and just use the handle.
Yeah, why not? And then I just, you know, I take it off. It's gonna be, just drink the wine. Drink the wine. Tell me if you like that one. So, are you planning an international trip soon?
We talked about it. I mean, I'm not going to turn anything down. You know, my spots that I want to go.
Well, it was funny because I've always told you, I've always told you guys that I wanted to go to Ireland with Joseph. And it was just so funny.
Even though my DNA returns keep going less and less.
You're less Irish? It is Ancestry.com. What were you, like 3% at one point? And then now it's like 1.5?
No, I think I'm still around 3.
You're around 3? I'm very
sorry.
It's
mostly
for your lack of Irish.
All my British folks.
Alright, but just still a little bit of Irish, right?
A little bit Irish, a little bit Scottish.
Very good. But, you know, I've said before that I would love to go to Ireland. He would love to go to Ireland. And it was funny because our church is doing a mission trip to Ireland. And I'm so tempted to go. But it's like 10 days. And I don't know that I could leave the kids for 10 days. Like, could you leave the kids for 10 days? Like, that would be the longest. Yes, you could leave them for 10 days. Bye, see you later.
I can love them and FaceTime with them and be on vacation and be good.
I think it would be me that would have a harder time with that.
They'd be at Mimi's house, so they'd be loving life. Camp to Mimi.
I know, but 10 days is like a long time without them. I don't know, I have to get over that, I know that, but I don't know. Hopefully at some point, it's in our goals for this year to go somewhere together. So we gotta make it happen, even if it's like, I don't know, like a little...
I do some foreign trips. I do Italy, Ireland. I do Scotland. I do the UK. I do.
But like, are you even allowed to go anywhere at this point? Like with the C word and stuff? Like, can you go international places? I don't even know because we've never really thought about it. A test?
No, some places require vaccination. Some places require negative tests. I mean, you just gotta... I
just feel like that would be so stressful of like thinking like you're gonna get stuck somewhere, like there's like another element to all of this. I don't know, we shall see, but we gotta work on at least, even if it's a in the US kind of trip, like we've got to take some kind of trip.
Montana.
Hey, well, we can go to Montana. I'm down for that. Take me to like some
We're gonna go
spa.
stay at Yellowstone.
I don't care, take me somewhere. Okay. Did you or Joe do any sports growing up?
Nope.
Joe did no sports, like nothing at all, like nothing team sport.
Dad wouldn't let me.
Why? Because it was gonna take up too much time?
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted you home?
Just, God, I can remember. You can have anything you want of me. You just can't have my time.
Well, that's rude. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's kind of rude.
I never got to meet my dad.
I know, I never got to meet his dad because his dad passed away before.
He was, that was his thing. That was his demeanor.
So he didn't want to like take you to your sports and stuff?
You know, with everything going on, it just...
Because they own their own business.
Yeah, just the having to do the practice and, you know, all of that stuff. I did try out.
For what?
For basketball.
And you didn't make it?
I didn't make it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, baby. Do you think Jackson would be able to play basketball?
He's going to have the same problem I did.
What, he's tiny?
Just tiny.
It's okay.
Little pipsqueak.
It's okay. How is that Matchbox?
It's good.
Or Matchlock.
It's a little sweeter.
Sweeter?
Yeah, I got a little sweeter profile.
Here, should I try Endgame or should I try Matchlock?
Try the Matchlock.
Matchlock? Let's see. It's actually been a while since I have like more than one glass of wine. Are you just gonna take the questions? My phone's about to die, by the way.
Surprise, surprise.
Shut up. My phone literally lives on like 10% battery. And I don't understand why. There are so many like outlets in this house. We just don't have enough chargers, or I don't put it to charge. Like I don't know what my problem is. Actually, speaking of that, the camera battery is dying. Oh, then I have to change the battery. Okay, answer the easy questions. He's like, there's so many easy questions here.
What's Joe's favorite candy?
What is it?
Skittles.
Yes. Joe loves his Skittles. I used to, like, every birthday, every Valentine's Day, that's what I would get him, like, just a bunch of Skittles.
What TV shows do you and Joe watch together? Yellowstone, 90 Day Fiancé.
All of the 90 Day Fiancés.
Yeah, all of those are just...
Single Life we watch now.
Yeah, we're on
Epic Train Wreck.
Wow, yeah, it's...
So good. Oh, and Ozark.
Ozark, yeah, we watched the first episode of the new season, but I'm not good at doing multiple shows.
But we do like Ozark. We watched every season and now we're catching up.
Has your intimate life suffered since having kids? No, it's gotten better.
It's gotten better.
It has.
Oh, I'm so glad that you feel that way.
Mm-hmm. Do you?
Oh, yeah? No, I do. I do.
Wait a second, hold on.
I do.
Do you guys share a bank account? Yes, but she has her own business account.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, I have my business account, but
yes,
I mean, all the money is our money together, so it doesn't really matter.
And we somewhat track spending.
We have all of our videos on budgeting and tracking and all of that. I'll try to link for you guys, but there's plenty of videos out there on how we spend our money or how we track our money, our budgeting apps, all of that. But that's
wine or margarita? I've been dabbling in margaritas, and I'm kind of a margarita fan.
Okay, but we're literally here being sponsored by wine, so I'll say wine. Answer that one. Thoughts on Area 51?
It's real. No. I mean, we know it's real.
Area 51 exists.
It exists.
He's a Joe Rogan listener.
Yeah.
So, and Joe Rogan is a big like aliens guy, right?
He is. I'm just like Joe Rogan. He just he asks the greatest questions. Like his conversations, like his style, his flow is just, to me, it's perfect for me in my brain. Even
though those podcasts are like,
that's a great, yeah, 4 hours.
4 hours, and like you guys know, we have all of those drives to Miami that we've done, like the 17-hour drives, and
like
a lot of them.
Like you just did one with Andy Stump.
Are full of the Joe Rogan podcast.
Who's the more affectionate person? She is.
Yeah, for sure. I am the one that wants to cuddle at night. And he wants to create a barrier with pillows and tells me to go away. How
long did it take you guys to get your budget back on track? It took about a year, 2 years?
What, after we got married?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've probably mentioned it before, but when I met Joe, I was making a lot less money than he was. He was making good money, but you also had a lot of expenses. Like you had that truck. Yeah. It was a huge monthly payment. He had his own, like he was renting an apartment, but you had bought like all the furniture for the apartment. Mm-hmm. And like he had like, you know, credit card.
It was all paid off though. All the furniture was paid off.
No, wasn't that still on a credit card?
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe
it was. I remember when I met him, he had a bunch of credit card debt that eventually, like when things got serious and we were like, okay, we're gonna be getting married, all of that, we really hustled to pay that off because I didn't want to like be married, you know, and like have to start off already like super struggling. So we hustled and we got that as a priority and took care of that. But it's a good 2 years into the marriage. This is so funny because like, so this person actually asked, what's the cause of your biggest disagreements? Like you guys seem so in sync, and like that's why it's so interesting and like so good to have conversations like this with other parents, because like I think for the most part we're in sync a lot and we're, you know, in a good place a lot, but as in sync as we seem or appear, like we still have moments where we're not, you know? We've been married, what, 7 years? We got married in 2015. So, or 6 years. No, 6 years. Because in 2022 of November, it'll be 7 years. Yeah, so we've been married for 6 years. And like, there's still stuff that we're working on and figuring out. And there's certain things that have gotten better. There's other things that, you know, we're still figuring out. You know, we have 2 kids now, the dynamic is different, we live in a new place, so there's like always something that you're working on. So I just want to make the point that even though we seem so in sync, like, again, that's kind of the thing with social media and like, you know, you guys watching YouTubers and stuff, a lot of people seem to be certain ways. And
I think you're pretty real about talking about it.
Well,
You know,
I try to be because I think it's important.
And you're not going to see it.
Yeah, like I'm not going to have a vlog, where I'm gonna film an actual fight that we have and blast that on the internet for everyone to see. Like,
watch this.
Yeah, that's like when people tell me like, oh, your toddlers, how do your toddlers not have tantrums on camera? And it's like, because I literally turn off the camera when they're having a tantrum, or, you know, there's certain things that you don't want to like just put out there for the world to see. But I think it's still important to talk about that they happen, because that's how we, you know, we help each other through that. Oh, by the way, I did like this wine.
I told you.
This wine was good.
As soon as I tried, I was like, oh, she'll like that more than any game.
It does. It tastes a little bit like fruitier, so I like that. And it's like really smooth. Like, it doesn't go out, like, you don't have like that. Sorry, did I like me you? Yeah, it doesn't have like that like bitter taste going down, or like leaves like a weird aftertaste. I really like that one, actually. That's probably my favorite of the 3 that we tried there. Yeah, that's really good. I'm glad that now we can put these in the wine cooler and we can have them with our home chefs and stuff. A lot of you guys asked what date nights look like for us again, and like this is a perfect example. But one thing that we have really liked to do together this year is like cooking those meals together, and just like cooking more together and following recipes.
French onion pork.
He really liked that home chef we made the other day.
Like,
he's like, this is the best home chef we've ever made.
I don't do this, but
yeah, he cooked that one. I told him, I was like, I'm not cooking, here's the recipe card, figure it out. But it was really good. So stuff like that we like to do together. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
No, tell me. What do you want to talk about? Something that you've heard a lot about that nobody asked. Am I the focus of this?
Well, I think that sometimes like people get enough of me. Like, I talk to them all the time. It's like, I think sometimes people like to see like a dad's perspective, a guy's perspective. This person actually asked, let me go back to the question.
Yeah, I know I still kind of have my Instagram account and I'm not active on it like I used to be. It's just, I can never stay consistent. I don't know, it's just not my thing. I'm considering getting rid of Instagram anyway.
He's actually told me several times lately that he's considering getting rid of Instagram.
Just deleting it all.
Because it's like such a time suck.
Well, it's not just time suck, but there's other factors that are just, from my pursuit and path and faith, I just want to get rid of all that stuff.
Are you enjoying your pursuit of faith and the path that you're on right now?
I'm happy. Yeah, it's not easy though.
What would you tell like someone who's like never, like wasn't grown up, like didn't grow up in the church, didn't grow up knowing anything, like what would you tell them if someone's like, hey, I'm curious, maybe you want to dip my toes in this, do you think it's worth it? Like, I don't know, what would you give any advice to someone like that?
Just be open-minded to it and just do it. Just give it just find a church, sit down, be willing to listen and be open-minded to it. You know, I know you all have seen, I didn't grow up in faith. I was never, opposed to it or like, oh, I'm an atheist, it's all, I was never that.
You're just like, whatever.
I just, I didn't know. I didn't know anything. I approached it from a standpoint that I had an open heart and a willingness to want to do it. And the more I kind of strive to learn and see and do, the more that I realized that, I don't know, anytime I attend church, I leave church, I'm doing something centric to faith, I come away from it feeling really good. So the Spirit works in crazy ways, and maybe that's its way of working its way through me. I'm just, it's what I gotta do. I'm convicted. I gotta do it.
I will tell you, like, there is like no time that I find him more attractive than when he's sitting there on the moon pod with his Bible open.
It is.
It's really hot to see that.
It's hard because you start to really self-analyze yourself. I mean, you start to really see yourself, you're doing a lot of things wrong.
You start realizing that there's a lot of things that we do, like all of us do, like me, him, everyone, like we do stuff that we, as you go learning more about the faith, you're like, oh, well, I probably shouldn't be doing that, you know, shouldn't be doing that anymore. And I think that's part of growing, you know, and changing your ways is a good thing, and feeling convicted to do things better.
I think, you know, you had a big impact on this, and having kids probably was really a big one for me. It's just, I think it was Pastor Jeff about the retirement plan with faith is eternal. So you really want to make sure you're on the right path.
Yeah, like everything of this world is just temporary, and it's like, what's like the long game here? Like the long game is, you know, you want to go up there, you want to go down there. And I think we all want to be in the good graces and work on having our souls be in a good place for eternity. So I'm very proud of him, and I know that it takes a lot to like learn something new. And even though like I grew up going to church, like this has been the closest that I've ever been to like in my faith. Like I've never like been this into it, even though I went to Catholic school, even though I went to the retreats as, you know, a senior in high school and all of that. This is not like, that was all kind of like because I had to, and this is because I want to. And I feel like it's made us really, really stronger, given us a better foundation. And I feel like it's putting our family in a good place. Not to say that we don't have a long way to go and things that we still have to learn, but it's nice to now like look forward to going to church on Sunday together. And you know, sometimes we've done it virtually and, you know, watched it on TV, but like trying to find that community and find other people that kind of do life the same. Because
no, it was, you know, it was reassuring today, you know, something we've talked about, but it was brought up, and you know, I'm doing that manage you thing, and once the main session is done, you kind of break off into your like little groups, and you have like 2 questions, and you talk about those 2 questions. So I think something was brought up today that, you know, I've thought about. The big reason why, and it was just interesting to hear some other people talk about it, was just when it's the man, when it's the father of the house taking that leading role and being committed to faith, and the children seeing that statistically has more of an impact on them. Like, you know, one of the people in the room, you know, had spoken to many priests, and that was one of the things that made them want to, you know, kind of do that, was they saw their father at a young age sitting in their bedroom, you know, praying the rosary. And that just had you know, an impact, more so than the mom. Yeah. That just statistically speaking, you know.
That's interesting though. Like we're freaking chopped liver over here. Like,
well, I don't know. It just for some reason, statistic, just looking at it from that perspective.
But I can see it. I can see that. So I'm glad.
The husband, the father, always seemed to have a more of an impact on the children. That's a big reason why I'm doing this. You know, it's for myself. It's for my soul. It's for, you know, that eternal retirement plan, and it's for you, and it's for my kids.
Again, we don't know half of what we should know, and we're just figuring a lot of things out, but we're committed to learning, you know. And like, that doesn't mean that now everything that we do is like perfect, but we're trying and we're figuring it out and sharing that journey with you guys. And you know, I'm glad that some of you guys are here for that. And if there's anything else, again, that you want to hear about that journey from us, let us know and we can talk about it. But that's kind of what's been going on, right?
I'm all about talking about it, because there's no better way for me to learn than to.
So we can definitely make that happen and have more of these like chats.
That's what I'm doing right now. And these groups, I'm just like, hey, can we be friends?
Well, you should ask people to be friends, because like we have like no friends. We have like no in-person friends. Like I joke around all the time, but like it's also like serious. Like we've been here for 2 years and we've never, like, when have we ever like had someone over or like gone to somebody's house? Like we went to one birthday party from my girlfriend and you know, Riley's friend that we went to, and that's about it. And you had like one work event that you went to, one work birthday or something that you went when your mom was here with us, and you took her to.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Steve's, yeah.
You know, so it's just like.
Birthday.
or his
Oh, no,
daughter's
it was.
birthday. It was his
gradu-
daughter's
it was
birthday. Graduation.
High school
But
graduation.
like that's it. So if you can make friends, that would be nice. And you can be like, hey, invite them over to our house. I'll make them bread. You know, I can make them some sourdough bread.
We
hopefully.
have like a quarter of a cow down in the basement that I need to cook.
We have food that we need to cook for people, but it's just so hard. We find it so hard to like, I don't know, talk to people. Like we went to church even. I guess we'll say this and then we'll end the video because I know this video is super long. But we've gone to church now, like this new church that we're going to, and like we've been in like the baby cry room, and there's other families there, and like, you know, everybody's nice and like says hi or whatever, but like the family in front of us, you didn't realize like 2 weekends ago, like the family in front of us was like talking to the family behind them and like talking and like kind of like exchanging names and stuff, and I was like, why does nobody want to talk to us? Why did nobody ask us what our name was? Like, I don't know, do we look like jerks? Like, I don't know what it is. Like, we give off this vibe of like, don't talk to us, because I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I talk to you guys all the time. I would love to talk to people in person.
I don't know, I felt bad today. I was, you know, we had this breakfast thing, and then it was a lot of people were there, and you know, I kind of introduced myself to the folks around me, and you know, I'm not like not welcoming. I'm not like, you know, weird, like, you know, I'm just like, hey, I'm Joe, nice to meet you. And you know, then I started to realize that there's a lot more people still waiting in line or getting their food, and there's no chairs. So I'm like, well, I just need to, I feel bad. So I got up and walked away, and then I was like, man, there's probably people thought I was
like not wanting to talk to them, or
but I was trying to be courteous, because
you were trying to like give
who
up your
wants to
seat?
stand and eat? I at least get my chair up and let you, you know, at least have a seat to eat if you want to eat. And
you need to like start like, you know, giving people your like number, like, look, follow me on Instagram or Facebook, or
well, the guy, the leader, the group leader for us actually chased me out of church today. We talked a little bit more, so I was like, yes, yes.
Okay, but did you like get his information?
No.
Or do you know? Okay,
No,
well
man.
then what the heck is wrong with you? Like, it's just such an awkward thing. Even me as a mom, like anytime that I've gone to any kind of play date, it's like, hey, so like, you want my numbers? And then like, what if you really don't? Like, you say yes anyway? Like, it's just, it's so weird to make friends as an adult. It's so freaking weird. If you have tips, let us know.
Have compounded it too. It's just,
well, yeah, then you've got like the, I want to be friends with you, but like, are you the kind of person that like only wants to be friends outside or inside, or like, would we even be able to hang out? Like, the whole like situation these days is hard. You know, you got to find people that like kind of like have the same vibe as you, and like, it's rough. It's really rough. So point is, I think that's gonna be it for today's video. Maybe more of these to come. Joe needs to do a day in the life of a dad, because I'm trying to rest, right? So you need to pick up the camera and at least do one of those for me. What?
just wait, maybe.
And see if maybe we can convince Joe to do a couple more things.
If I can follow through with my plan.
Because he wants to be a little bit more, put himself out there a little bit more. So we'll see what happens. But anything you guys want to see, let us know. And again, like literally, we're gonna go drink some more of this wine. This one was really good. The Endgame, this Matchlock was really good. And Folly of the Beast. The only reason I didn't open up the Poet one is because I think we had it last time. So we're gonna save this one. But thank you to Wink for sponsoring today's video and for giving us, again, a reason to sit down, chat with you guys.
I'm sorry about the margarita piece.
Yeah, sorry about the margaritas. But seriously.
I love wine.
We love wine.
I just started to make like legit, like
from scratch
margaritas, and I'm just like, man, these aren't that bad.
Yeah, but if you like wine, if you're wine drinkers, if you like to just have it even with your food, or just if you entertain people, you like to have different wines, different, you know, new wines that you can't get at the supermarkets and stuff, then this is definitely the kind of service that is for you guys, and I would love for you guys to check it out. I'll have all the information down below with the offer. Again, you get 4 wines for, I think it's $29. I don't know, I'll have the exact information down below, free shipping, all of that. And that is all, my friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Joseph, for joining us. I always love it when we can chit chat together. We need to do it more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me see if I do this.
What?
Subscribe if you're new.
No.
Give this video a like.
No. You have to say, I love your freaking faces. You have to say I love your freaking faces.
I love your freaking faces. Subscribe if you're new. Give this video a like, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.